Hey guys, it's Jordy. I am so extremely excited to talk to my next guest today. I've been working, I think, 30 years in jobs and running businesses, and every now and then you come across people who just absolutely blow you away. And I am so excited because these next two people, they started an organization, a nonprofit called Backpacks for Life. It's Backpack for Life. I'm horrible at this crap. These two people started backpacksforlife.org. It is an amazing organization that is just doing so much good in the military community. We're going to hear all about it. So I want to introduce Brett D'Alessandro and Alexa Madero. Guys, thank you so much for taking some time today to spend with me, tell your story. I can't wait to have this conversation.
Thanks so much. That was a great intro. You just picked up a lot. That was awesome.
I don't know about that, but anyway, like I said, I was just blown away. Brett, you and I spoke a couple weeks ago. We met for the first time. I read an article about you. And I said, I got to talk to this guy. And you told me this story, and it was absolutely amazing. You served in the United States Marine Corps. You were a sergeant, got out. Tell everyone just a little bit about your military experience, just at a high level, what you did and what set you on this path. You guys are these two social entrepreneurs, which I absolutely love. So tell a little bit about your story, and then we'll get to you, Alexa.
I appreciate that. And first, our mascot, Kajaki, you're going to obviously see him in the background. I try to give him a bone. But
where is he? I don't see. I see it here. Oh no, I don't see anything.
Covering a little bit.
Oh, there.
Yeah. So yeah, he's our 120-pound chocolate lab mascot. So of course he's gonna want to get himself in the screen. So anyways, yeah, we started Backpacks for Life when I got back from Afghanistan 6 years ago now. It's like we were just talking about this. I feel like it was yesterday that we started this organization, and we started it because when I came back from Afghanistan, I was in the Marines for 6 years. I had a hard time integrating back, and a lot of other veterans have dealt with this as well. But when I first came back, I thought I was the only one dealing with this, and come to find out there was a lot of other veterans out there that were dealing with these similar issues of just transitioning back home from the deployment. And so going through the process, I thought that there was really no resources out there, but come to find out there's an abundance of resources out there. The issue was for me and a lot of other veterans was not knowing where these resources are, how to contact them. And then once you contact them, you don't know if you even qualify for their services. So there's a lot of just really shuffle and trying to figure out what to even connect to before you can even get that help. So that's kind of where we came in. We're like, you know what, let's give out some backpacks. It's symbolic because I survived out of a backpack for seven months. And we're primarily working with homeless and at-risk veterans. So give them a backpack. It's like their mobile home for veterans who are homeless, and put supplies, toiletries, and resources inside these backpacks and give them out. Our first backpacks were literally like neon green, upgraded toilet paper backpack. They were just super crappy. The straps were breaking. So it was a disaster, but it was a starting point. And from there, we just kind of progressed. And now we're actually developing our own backpack designed exactly for a homeless veteran to survive and get off the streets.
That is awesome. And is this correct? 7,500 plus have been distributed. Is that awesome? Oh my God, that's incredible.
Through how many? 20?
I think we're up to 21 states. We've kind of been nicknamed like the backpack boy and the backpack girl. Whenever we go anywhere, they're like, "Oh, you're the backpack people." So I guess that's a good thing.
Hey, that's a good. Hey, however people remember.
Yeah,
that's great. Alexa, I know you went to URI, you PR major, entrepreneur at heart. It sounds like. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, met Brett at University of Rhode Island, and we had a nice little love story, went to a Marine Corps ball together, and then he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go deploy to Afghanistan." And I was like, "All right, guess I'll see you when you get back." But graduated University of Rhode Island in 2014, went and worked in Manhattan for a fashion company for about 4 years, but all the while we were doing Backpacks for Life on the side. It was always like our nights and weekend hustle, and it just kept growing. It was getting bigger and bigger, and then in April of 2018, I made the decision to leave my corporate job and take on the nonprofit full time. So I'm currently the executive director. I oversee just about everything. I'm like the behind the scenes and Brett's the front man. So he does all the speaking and preaching, and I'm kind of behind the scenes making sure everything's working. But it's such
Which is like 99% of the day.
Yeah, I know.
I go and pick up the heavy things. She basically does
Right.
everything else.
Yeah.
So
It's a lot of fun though. I mean, you get to have this entrepreneurial role of being your own boss and making change and thinking through these projects and ideas that actually change people's lives. And I think that social impact piece is what just like keeps me coming back for more.
Yeah, that's great. Well, you guys make an incredible team. Brett, talk about you're in the core. How did you know you wanted to be an entrepreneur when you're in or when you're about to get out? What brought you down this path?
well, it's interesting because I feel like a lot of Marines, I mean, we were given the least amount of resources in the military, and we somehow always figure it out and we adapt, overcome, and we persevere through those difficult challenges with limited to no resources. So I feel like that like sets you up for the entrepreneurial vibe, and yes, I really thought that kind of helped me out. But no, I've always been curious. I actually I patented something in high school, so I love to tinker with things. I love to ask why. I've been in trouble throughout my whole life by asking why and being super curious, like Curious George. You know, don't touch the red button. Well, I'm going to touch it and see what happens. So I feel like I've always had that curiosity. And then kind of Alexa, I feel like we're like the perfect yin and yang because she's just unbelievably smart, able to really handle top level projects. I mean, running our golf outing, she's now teaching at NYU veteran entrepreneurship. So she has those skills to really make sure everything kind of is smooth and functioning properly. And I'm there kind of thinking of all these crazy ideas, which, you know, 1 out of 10 of them are a nice little.
I shoot down most of them.
Hey.
He's a dreamer on the realist, and we come together and we've created something pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's the life of the entrepreneur, I guess. Alexa, I'm sure it has not been smooth sailing from the start. Running a business is extremely difficult. I've done a number of them over the years, and more fail than make it. Talk about some of the challenges that you guys have had to overcome and how you got through those.
Yeah, I mean, we started as a grassroots effort. I mean, we launched a GoFundMe campaign over 6 years ago. We were just looking back at the pictures, asking for $3 grand to help us get this project off the ground. And then it was just this idea, but we knew it could be something. And it's been challenging. And I feel like we're such go-getters. Every time we hit a milestone or an accomplishment, we're like, okay, what else? What more could we be doing? So you always kind of struggle with feeling like you could be doing more, bigger, better. But I will say, like, having the veteran community as a whole, veteran and military connected, is like what helps us like have a sounding board, have people to go to and rely on. We've definitely had to work our butts off to get ourselves to a place where people say, hey, I've heard of Backpacks for Life. And that feels so good now, but there's still so much work to be done. But we've just worked really hard to find the right people that we need to work with to continue serving veterans. It's a lot of work. A lot of people don't see all the nights and hours and worry, but it's so worth it when you can change someone's life.
And I feel like just to kind of piggyback off of that, and I'm not sure if you heard Kajaki like groaning and saying pet me, but that's that part, but also like we were going through a lot too. Like I was still doing my transition. I was using hey.
Wants a voice.
He wants to chime in too.
Yeah.
And, hey, bye.
I mean, I'll kind of, I get what Brett's saying. Like we were struggling, you know, as me in this spouse role, not really knowing how to support Brett through his transition and get out of the military and back into civilian life. It was, do I go the law enforcement route? Do I go back to school? Do I go corporate? Like where to go? And then on top of that, struggling with mental health concerns as well. So for us, it was, we were advocating, but we were also learning at the same time.
Yeah. What were you saying, Brett?
Yeah, no, that was exactly what kind of Alexa said.
What a team.
I was going through hell. I was like, it was awful. I mean, it's people go, oh, you know, you went through some, no, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. You know, Afghanistan was, honestly, it was kind of a cakewalk compared to the transition back. And it sucked. And to kind of have her and my resources and my family, and even Kajaki, the annoying dog that continues to moan right over there. Like I've had all these beautiful opportunities to help me succeed, and a lot of other veterans don't have that opportunity. And when we work with that vet, you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve there and working because I know how much it really sucks. I mean, I literally would do anything to have that deep breath and just kind of peace right there. And to see these veterans struggling, it really, hit hits home and stuff. So we want to make sure that, you know, we're not just giving them a backpack. It's we're there for them. We're going to talk to them. We're going to show them, have them that interaction, that human to human interaction, and give them that backpack. But we don't just give out these crappy, and no offense, but, you know, compared to ours, you know, drawstring backpacks or those $5 and below backpacks. We want to give them something of quality because they associate with what you give them. You give them something that's a piece of crap, they feel like a piece of crap. You give them something of high value, they feel like, wow, like these people care about me. They're talking. They're not just, oh, here's some resources, good luck. It's like, we were going to sit with you. Let's get some food. Let's hang out. I want to get to know you. I'm not going to ask the veterans. I mean, we're giving out 7,500 backpacks. We worked with over 1,000 homeless and at-risk veterans. And it's not just, what do you need? Okay, here, call this. Hey, let's sit down. Let's go get some food. Tell me about yourself. You know, what's going on? Because they might not know what's out there, but they also like, wow, like, okay, they care about me. And that's the first step of recovery. It's not, here's a shelter. It's, here, I'm a friend and I'm somebody who knows where have you been and I'm going to help you out and you can call me 24/7. That's the biggest part right there.
Yeah. I tell you what I love the most about what you're doing, and you guys, I'm sure, understand this, is it's such a great story. Like, you're combining a business, you're getting all these incredible experiences of running a business, getting off the ground, making it work financially. And what good you're doing for the community, you know, and what a cool story. People can rally behind you. Civilians will, military veterans will. It's just an amazing accomplishment what you guys have done in just 6 years of growing this thing. You know, what are your plans? Where do you want to see this thing go?
It's crazy. It feels like 6 years and like a century at the same time. You know, we've really grown in the last 3 years. Took us 3 years to really build, and now we're growing.
I feel like prove their worth. Like, we started this, what, 25, 24?
Yeah, we're always the youngest in the room around veteran service organizations. So we're like, hey, we're here to stay. We want to continue to serve the community, work with other organizations. You know, we've been developing our own backpack, like Brett mentioned, and we're actually launching this November a platform for New Jersey veterans that basically aggregates all programs, resources, and cares in one centralized location. So you're not spending time hunting down organizations to know if you qualify, what are the intake forms, you know, all these terrible tasks that ultimately lead veterans to say, I quit, I don't want to look at anything anymore. And then that results in that snowball effect of being at risk, unstable job, homelessness. So we're trying to really get in there before that happens and offer them a platform that says, here are all the things you qualify for based on branch of service, your discharge status, your zip code, and really show them exactly what is going to meet their tailored needs.
Right. And it's like peeling back the onion. There are just so many things that need to be done, so many services. It's never ending, you know?
Yeah. And not one thing that works for veteran A is going to work for veteran B. I mean, there's over 43,000 veteran service organizations in the country, and they're all doing incredible work, whether they're mental health, equine therapy, painting groups, workshops, fly fishing. There's just so much out there, and we really want to educate our veterans and their spouses so they feel confident that they can find what they need.
And a lot of these resources is not just, you know, Google search and throw them on. We've been through them. We've had recommendation. I mean, I went through hundreds of resources myself, and it's been amazing. But also, I really get to learn, okay, this is legit, this is not so much, you know, this is awesome. But it's not just how I feel about it. It's like, they function well, everything is what they said they're going to do. It might not have worked out for me, but I don't care. I just want to make sure it's running smoothly and everything is kind of what they say they're doing. So that's kind of how we got these resources. And like Alexa said, equine therapy down to fly time. How is that, you know, it brings the veteran in the present moment by focusing on something. So there's so many amazing things that you're like, that doesn't sound like beneficial for me. And it's like, no, it's extremely. So there's a lot of stuff out there.
It's so great because, like, you started with just the backpack, but it's not about the backpack at all. The backpack is just like getting your foot in the door to change these people's lives. And gosh, I mean, I can't imagine how many veterans have been so appreciative of what you guys are doing for them. What do you have a favorite success story?
I would say, I'm sure you're thinking of the same one, but this past April during COVID, we were able to place a veteran in housing after living on the streets for 5 years, served in the Marine Corps, honorably discharged, great guy, super motivated, hardworking. and really struggled to find him the right place and the stability that he needed. And this past April, an opportunity came about for housing. And we said, whatever it is, he's going to get there, COVID or not, like we're going to make it happen. So we got him into housing. We were able to reach out to our community and help us furnish the house, because here's just a story for you. We brought him into the house, and it was a few days before a bed was going to be delivered, a mattress. And we said, do you want us to grab you a blow up mattress in the meantime? And he's like, no, these wood floors are perfect. It's way better than the train station floors.
Wow.
And he was so grateful to just be on wood floors with a roof over his head. And it puts everything in perspective.
I mean, he's honorable veteran, Marine veteran, honorable discharge, 5 years of being on the streets. And when COVID hit, a lot of the top level big organizations, because, you know, they're paying employees and such like that. I mean, not getting into that, but basically they all shut down. They're shut down. There's nobody there. You know, you can't do this, you can't do that. So I would spray down my car, give him a mask, give myself a mask. I would have gloves, hand sanitizer, all that stuff. And I had actually bought one of those little temperature guns, because I was like, there's no way in hell that because these groups are shut down that we're going to keep this vet on the street any longer. So I would drive him to every single place possible to make sure there was no delay in getting him housing. And like Alexis said, you put this vet in the house, but okay, they're literally essentially living on the floor. So we refurnish this entire place, but we do so for every veteran that gets housed and that works with us.
You guys are amazing. And a lot of people, I'm sure, especially civilians, they picture, oh, a veteran, homeless veteran. They're thinking of like the guy under the bridge with the cardboard sign, but this affects so many people, you know, you wouldn't expect it, right? I mean, some people, you're an executive one week, then the next week you get fired and the wheels fall off, you know? It's like you get behind on your finances, your relationships suffer, you might turn to drugs or alcohol, you know, and it doesn't take long for someone to be at the bottom.
Yeah, I think it's also like reframing the stigma, right? Like you just said, everyone thinks of a veteran that lives on the streets, but when you're homeless, you could be living in a car, you could be at a friend's without a permanent address. So people don't think about those folks, and those folks need help too. And kind of what you're saying, it's like with COVID-19, people are losing jobs, then they're financially unstable, then they maybe turn to drugs and alcohol, and then it might result in homelessness. So right now is a very critical time to be making sure our veterans are supported and know where to get help.
There's so many variables into how you become homeless. Even if that vet is underneath the bridge, we're still working with you. And you know, even if you lose your job, but look and ask yourself, if I lost my job, how long could I sustain myself? And people are like, crap, 2-3 weeks, maybe a month. And so it could happen so fast. So especially given, you know, we have COVID now into the situation where we basically all of our in-person events, golf outing, bocce event, all got canceled, but the need for our services skyrocketed. So it's definitely thinking outside the box for us. And that's kind of around when COVID hit, we're like, all our events got canceled. What can we do? And we saw, you know, I kept seeing a lot of my buddies, veterans, you know, kind of they transitioned into first responders a lot of the time. They want to continue to serve and help others. And I saw a lot of my buddies saying, I don't have any surgical masks. I'm a nurse. I'm lacking my N95 mask. We need PPE. So we ended up calling a buddy, buddies, 2 Marines, have a factory in Passaic, New Jersey. He said, hey, let's make some surgical masks. And they said, absolutely. So I ended up calling a couple companies. We sent like thousands, hundreds of thousands of yards to the factory and started to mass produce surgical masks. And then we also then started to produce isolation gowns for all the veteran homes in New Jersey, which we're making 105,000 isolation gowns, made tens of thousands surgical masks. And we were like, okay, we're making these, but we want to make sure these are the best functional masks for our first responders. Ended up using a law firm with the FDA and getting our mask approved through the FDA. And so we're like, wow,
you probably are like, they sound crazy.
We're like, yeah, let's get this going. I mean, but I wanted to make this mask. A lot of VSOs too, veteran service organizations, like we don't have the proper PPE to maintain our mission. I'm like, this is not going to happen. So I wanted to make sure these veteran service organizations are continuing to function properly. Our first responders are protected to continue to serve the general public, and we got it done.
You two are so incredibly inspiring. I don't know if you realize it. And please, when you hit, you know, road bumps along the way and they come, keep going full steam ahead. I am 100% confident I'm going to see you guys on today's show one of these days. You have such a great story. You're doing such incredible work for the military community. I know we're talking a lot about the great things that you're accomplishing, but I know it's hard. It is brutal to do what you're doing. There's so many moving parts. You are not working a 9 to 5. This is probably a 16-hour day for each of you. To accomplish what you've done in such a short period of time. You should be so proud of yourselves. I want anyone who's listening, please check out Backpacks for Life. Please donate. If you're in a position to donate, please help them out. Do you guys have anyone could volunteer if they're not in a position to donate? Is there anything people can do to help?
Yep, we have a page on our website that says get involved. You can sign up for our volunteer opportunities. They've been definitely a little bit limited due to COVID, but we're ready to get back in. We get to have donation drives where people can help us fill our backpacks. So tons of opportunities there. You can sign up and you'll be notified when you can volunteer. Awesome.
Awesome. Brett, Alexa, thank you guys so much for sharing this incredible story with our audience. We are in your corner 100%. Seven Eagle Group is going to do whatever we can to help you guys succeed and keep up the great work.
Thanks, Jordy. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.